welcome guys. For those of you that are tuning in live, we're just going to be hanging out for a couple minutes, give people a chance to log on, get settled. In the meantime, when you join, if you want to say hey on the comments, just let me know you're here. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see in tonight's flow. And maybe tell me your favorite part about the day so far. Hey Mariana. What's up, Karen and Ferris? Oh, hamstring stretches. We will definitely be doing some of those. Absolutely, Grace. Oh man, Zach's favorite part of the day is yoga right now. I'm so stoked to hear that. It was also my favorite part of the day. If you guys are tuning in and watching this later, you can feel free to jump to about the 5-6 minute mark. That's probably when we're going to be starting our flow. Before we get started, if you guys want to let me know how the audio is for you with the music, that would be awesome. It's a little quiet. Am I a little quiet or is the music a little quiet? I'm guessing you mean the music, so I will turn it up slightly if I think I'm being loud. Hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. Alright, it is just after 6 here. We'll go ahead and get started. So I'm Nicole, for those of you that don't know me. I'm one of the yoga instructors for EarthTrex Columbia. And I'm super stoked to be bringing you guys tonight's all levels Vinyasa class. We're going to be flowing together for about an hour here. We're going to start off just in a comfortable seat. So I like to have my hips slightly elevated when I'm sitting in a cross-legged position, so I'm just going to grab this pillow here. And that just helps me relieve a little bit of the pressure in my low back. It gives me a little more space to lift up and out. So if you don't have a pillow and you want to sit up, you can grab a blanket, stack of books, just kind of anything you have laying around that you can rest your sit bones on comfortably. And then once you're there, let your palms just fall where they may. Your palms can be face down or face up. I like to do face down if you want more of a grounding practice. Face up if you're looking for a little more openness. Just pause for a moment, take a second to assemble yourself, gather yourself onto the mat. intention during class, feel free to do that now. If you don't know what to do for today, maybe just think to yourself, why did I come to my mat today? What brought me here in this moment? We'll come back to that intention a few times throughout class today. Just kind of remind ourselves why we practice. Now, without changing anything, let's just take a moment and notice the breath. Notice where you are on your mat today. Maybe your breathing's a little shallow. Maybe you've been hanging out in your Zen for a while and it's pretty slow and deep. Just kind of take stock of where you are. So many times we only notice the good and the bad, so it's really nice to just mindfully notice those neutral feelings to fill up the rest of our day. Well, let's go ahead and start to deepen our breath all together. So go ahead and exhale all of your air completely. And then take a nice full deep inhale into the belly, expanding through the side body, through the ribs, into the chest, lifting the crown of the head up. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the nose. Taking another nice deep inhale, filling up through the belly. Expanding through the ribs, the chest, side body, lifting the crown of the head up. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Exhale out the nose. One more time. Inhale, filling up as much as you can. Feel that space expanding behind the lungs, behind the heart. Relax the knees toward the floor. Relax the shoulders. Holding here for 3, 2, 1. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. You can gently open up the eyes if they were closed. And then just bring your arms down to the side body. On the next inhale, let's reach the arms up and over the head. And then grab the right wrist with the left hand. Relax the right shoulder away from the ear. And as you exhale, bend over towards the left. Keep rooting through that right sit bone. And see if you can spin the chest and shoulders up to the ceiling a little bit more. Maybe the gaze follows. Breathing here. Just finding that space, feeling that stretch through the right side body. One more nice full round of breath. Stay for the whole exhale. Follow it out completely. Then we'll inhale back through center. Switching hands. Exhale, bending over towards the right. And keep that left shoulder away from the ear. Rooting through that left hip bone. See if you can spin the chest and shoulders up. Breathing here. This might be the first time I successfully mirror you guys since I'm actually looking at a mirror image of myself. Breathing here, one more full round of breath. And we'll inhale back through center, and as you exhale, release those arms down to the side. From here, we're gonna find our tabletop position. So if you were sitting up on something, just go ahead and move it out of the way. And then find your tabletop on your mat. So wrists right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And for this one, let's go ahead and tuck our toes. We're just going to start to rock forwards and backwards. Feeling the stretch through the forearms. And feeling the stretch through the toes as you send the hips back towards the heels. So you can flow with your breath on the inhales, rocking forward, exhales, rocking backwards. If your breath is faster or slower than me, that's totally fine. Just stay at your pace. Finish off one more round. Maybe this time you want to add some movement to the spine. Just going side to side, a little snake kind of thing with your body. Whatever feels good, whatever movement the spine's craving. And then we'll go ahead and find our nice neutral tabletop position. So we're reaching the crown of the head forward, hips reach back behind us, feeling lots of length through the side body, through the spine, each and every vertebrae. And we're going to go into our cat-cows here. But we're going to take our knees up when we go into our cat pose so that we feel the core working just a little bit more. So start to press through the finger pads. As you inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts up. Find your cow pose, tailbone tilts up. exhale, curl in, gaze comes toward the navel, belly draws in towards the spine, lift the knees up an inch or so off the ground. Inhale, looking up, cow pose. Exhale, curling in, cat pose. Knees lift. Floating here with the breath. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, curling in. Knees lift. 2 more rounds. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, curling in. Again, if your breath is faster or slower than me, take it at your own pace. Last one. Breathing through the nose, finding that nice audible breath, that ujjayi breath. And go ahead and drop the knees. Gaze comes forward. From here, we're going to take it into a modified side plank. So our right toes are going to kick off towards the side. I'm going to try not to murder these plants behind me. And then our left foot is going to spin off to the side as we send our weight down towards that right hand. So sole of the left foot comes down towards the mat. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Your gaze can follow. Start to squeeze through the right hip and the right glute and press the hips forward like you're going into your bridge pose. From here, let's turn that left palm towards the front of your mat and then reach the fingertips toward the front of your mat. Keep that left shoulder drawing away from the ear. And keep pressing the hips forward so you're feeling a stretch through that whole left side body. One more nice full round of breath. And then gently we'll take it all the way back down to our tabletop. Left hand comes back down, left knee drops to the ground, right foot swings back in. Let's go ahead and take it to our other side. So your weight's going to start to shift towards that left hand. Left knee kicks off to the side. Pressing into the sole of that right foot, right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Pausing here for a moment to start firming through that outer left hip and pressing through the sole of that right foot. And once you feel nice and stable there, spin that right palm towards the front of your mat and reach those fingertips toward the front of the mat. Chest and shoulders spinning open towards the ceiling. Right shoulder away from the ear. Take care not to collapse into this left shoulder here, so if you feel like you're kind of dropping down, scrunching that space in the side of your neck, root up and out through that left hand, creating a little more space here. One more full round of breath. And then again, we'll take it all the way back to our tabletop position. So once you're there, go ahead and walk the hands out about 1 hand's length distance, so just a slightly wider tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees up an inch off the ground one more time, feel that core tighten up. And then press through the palms, start to straighten the legs, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Feel free to find whatever movement you want here. You can bend the knees one at a time, pedaling out the legs. Let the hips go side to side. Haven't gotten into our hamstrings too much just yet, so maybe you want to keep the knees bent. Do whatever feels good in this first down dog. Eventually finding stillness here. Maybe back to the breath. Soles of the feet are reaching down towards the mat. They don't have to touch all the way, but you have that action of them reaching down for the mat so that you feel that stretch through the entire backside of the calves, backside of the legs. As you exhale, deeply bend the knees until the belly touches the thighs. Inhale, straighten the legs, hips are up and back once more, downward facing dog. Flowing that a couple times. Exhale, bend the knees, belly touches the thighs. Inhale, straighten the legs. Last one. Exhale, bending the knees. Inhale, straighten off the legs. And take 3 nice full rounds of breath here. Finding that ujjayi breathing, slowing down the breath. If at any point in class today you want to take child's pose instead of a down dog, feel free to drop your knees, send the hips back to the heels. Just hang out in your child's pose. And you can do that at any other point in class today if you'd like. From here, let's bend the knees one more time, and this time we're going to come onto our fingertips, start to walk the hands back towards the feet. Once you're there, just relax in a forward fold on the back of your mat. You can grab opposite elbows, maybe rock side to side, let the hips go back and forth. Crown of the head is relaxed down towards the ground. Total release through the shoulders, through the sides of the neck. Breathing here. Take one more nice full deep round of breath. You can keep a slight bend in the knees if that's a little more comfortable in this posture. On the next inhale, release whatever grip you have. Find a half lift. So crown of the head reaches forward. You could be on your fingertips for this one. Keep a slight bend in your knees if this feels like too much pressure on your hamstrings. As you exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees until your palms touch the mat. And then let's walk the hands back out to our plank pose. You're pressing through the soles of the feet here. Inner thighs spinning up towards the ceiling. Crown of the head's reaching forward. We're going to move through our first vinyasa. If you'd like to drop to the knees for this first one, please feel free. Find your knees plank. We're making a nice straight line from the backs of the knees to the crown of the head. Elbows are hugging in nice and close. Rock the shoulders forward a couple inches. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Let's take it all the way to the mat for this one. As we inhale, chest and shoulders peel up off the mat. Find a baby cobra. Maybe even float the hands an inch or so. Just find that opening through the top half of the spine. From here, press through the hands, straight up through plank to downward facing dog once more. So we're maybe feeling a little more open in this down dog, maybe bringing a little more straightness to the legs, chest melting towards the thighs. Finding our breath here at our home base pose. Let's go ahead and walk the feet out a little bit wider, so almost to mat width distance, and then walk the feet up once or twice. We're going to take a twist here in our down dog. Weight's going to shift into that left hand. Your right hand's going to come to the outside of the left leg, as close down towards the ankle as you can get. Then you're just going to gaze underneath that left shoulder. Keep rooting through that left hand, nice and strong through that left hand. Breathing here. Go ahead and place that right hand back down where it was. Weight shifts into that right hand now. Left hand's going to come to the outside of the right foot. Again, as close down towards the ankle as you can go. Gazing under that right shoulder this time. Chest and shoulders spinning over towards that right side. Last round of breath. Use that breath as a tool to stay in these postures, stay comfortable in them. Slowly place that left hand back down towards the mat. We're going to walk it back out to our downward facing dog. On the next inhale, right heel is going to lift up towards the ceiling. Keep the right toes flexed and pointed down towards the ground. So both your hip bones are pointed down towards the mat. And they're nice and closed off here. As you exhale, shift forward, bring the right knee to the chest. So you're planking through that left side of the body. Crown of the head's reaching forward. Pressing through the hands. Let's start to round the upper back. Find some space for your foot, for your right foot, still flexed. It's almost like you're going into cat pose with the upper back. And then step that right foot through in between the hands. If it didn't quite make it all the way there, you can hook your hand around the back of the calf, kind of shimmy it up there. Do whatever you need to. And pause for a moment. In your low lunge, keep pressing through the sole of that left foot. You're hugging in on the outer thighs, squeezing in towards midline. Keep you nice and stable here. From here, we're going to spin onto the sole of that left foot. And as we inhale, open up to warrior two. So in our warrior two, we're looking for a heel to arch alignment through the feet. And that back foot can be anywhere from parallel with the short edge of the mat to pointing towards the upper left corner of the mat. Arms are nice and strong. As we inhale, let's stroke the shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, release the shoulders down the spine. Gazing over those right fingertips. And if you think you can sink a little deeper into that right hip, right knee, you can take a wider stance and sink a little bit deeper. From here, let's take it into our extended side angle. Start to reach forward with those right fingertips. As you exhale, right forearm comes to the inner thigh. Left palm spins up towards the ceiling. Reach it all the way towards the front of your mat. Left shoulder away from the ear, spinning the chest and shoulders up, just like we did in our modified side plank earlier. Again, staying with that breath. Maybe the gaze follows to the left forearm or left palm. Full exhale, lift all the way up and straighten out that right leg. From here, we're going to take it into Trikonasana or triangle pose. So you can heel toe the back foot in slightly if you like a shorter stance. Hips are gonna bump to the back of the mat. Reach forward with your right fingertips. And then as you exhale, hinge over the right thigh, left arm reaches up. And your hand can be floating in space, or you can reach it down towards the mat on the inside of the foot. Maybe you like to do that peace finger grip on the toes. Yogi's choice. Wherever you are though, make sure you have lots of space through that right side body. So if you're kind of crunching in on that right side, see if you can lift up a little bit. Draw that right hip back. And reach the crown of the head forward to lengthen that right side a little bit more. Last full round of breath. Then root through the ball of that right foot. Inhale, come all the way up. As you exhale, release the arms down to the side. Turn all 10 toes over towards the left side of your mat. Let's bring our hands to our hips. Elbows are going to press back behind us to find lots of space through the collarbones. Get nice and tall through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. You can release the hands down towards the mat. If your palms make contact with the ground, you can start to bend at the elbows, walking the heels of the hands back in line with the heels of the feet, letting the head drop down towards the mat. If headstands in your practice, feel free to go up. And you can relax the neck, sides of the neck. Let the crown of the head hang heavy down towards the mat. And let's remember our strong foundation while we're here in our wide-legged forward fold. So we're kind of hugging the outer thighs in towards the midline, so squeezing in on that outer right thigh. And then at the same time, pressing through the pinky edges of the feet to lift the inner arches. So nice active legs all the way through. On the next inhale, let's find a nice long spine. Come onto your fingertips. Hands are going to come to your hips. As you exhale, come all the way back up. From here, right toes are going to turn back towards the front of the room. Find that warrior two one more time. And as you inhale, reverse the warrior. Right palm flips up, reach up and back. Exhale. Hands come all the way around to frame the right foot, spin onto the wall of the left foot. Press through the hands. You can send the right foot back, keep it floated if you'd like, and move through your vinyasa all the way to your downward facing dog. Take 5 full rounds of breath in our downward facing dog. And remember, if you want to take child's pose, take water, anything else. Now's a great chance. Just coming back to the breath here, slowing it back down. It's a good time to return to that intention. Remember why you came to your mat today. Taking 1 more full round of breath. Let's go ahead and take it to that left side. So lift that left heel up towards the ceiling. Toes flexing, pointed down towards the mat. And keep dropping that right heel down towards the mat. So we lifted those left toes, but don't forget about the right foot. We're still feeling that stretch through the right calf. As you exhale, shift forward, shoulders stack above the wrists. Left knee draws in towards the chest. Spine is nice and long. Left toes stay flexed, start to press through the hands. Round the upper back, find that cat pose, and then step that left foot through in between the hands. Again, you can shimmy that left foot on up there if it didn't quite make it all the way. Find that nice stable base, and then spin onto the sole of that right foot. Inhale all the way up, warrior two. Adjust your stance however you need to, finding that heel to arch alignment. Shoulders right over the hips, and you're gazing over those left fingertips. And as you inhale, shoulders shrug up by the ears. Exhale, release the shoulder blades down the back, finding that space and softness through the sides of the neck. Warrior two is one of those postures where we really like to make it harder on ourselves than it needs to be. I always clench my toes or kind of like scrunch up my neck. So there's probably a place where you're holding tension where maybe you don't need to. See if you can find a place that can get a little more softness sent to it. Maybe just return to the breath. Make this posture a little easier. A little more comfortable, I should say. From here, we're going to start to reach those left fingertips forward as you exhale, finding that extended side angle. Right shoulder away from the ear. Chest and shoulders spinning open towards the ceiling. Breathing here. right leg, keep pressing through the pinky edge of that right foot. It's still doing a lot of work even though we're leaning over that left foot here. Finding that lightness through the left arm is gonna help bring some of that structure and stability towards that right leg. Last round of breath, maybe float those left fingertips to frame the ears. Last round of breath. Then we're rooting through the heel of that left foot, come all the way up, straighten out the leg, working towards our Trikonasana triangle pose. I like that shorter stance here, it's your choice. Hips bump to the back, reach forward with those left fingertips. Exhale, hinge over that left thigh. Right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. The gaze can follow if it's comfortable on the neck. And come back to that breath here, back to that Ujjayi breathing. Again, keeping that length through the whole left side body. Crown of the head's reaching towards the front of your mat. So that neck is part of the spine. We want to keep it nice and long. And rooting through the ball of that left foot. Inhale, come all the way up. Left toes turn towards the side of the mat. Exhale, release the arms down to the side. From here, hands are going to come to your hips one more time. Coming into our wide-legged forward fold. Elbows pressed back behind us. This time we're going to keep our hands on our hips. As you inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, hinge forward, leading with the chest. Think about finding that structure through the legs as you fold. So outer hips hug in, inner arches lift. Release the neck down, crown of the head's reaching towards the ground, elbows pointed up towards the ceiling. Notice here if you're kind of dumping your weight towards the heels of your feet. That can be the tendency if we don't have our hands in front of us to catch us. But we really want to be having our weight over the arches of our feet. So start to rock towards the balls of the feet slightly. Feel that weight kind of shift towards the front a little bit more. Keeping our elbows pressing up, space through the collarbone. One last round of breath. And as you inhale, lift up halfway, find a nice long spine. Exhale, come up the rest of the way. From here, left toes are going to turn back towards the front. Sink back into that warrior two. As you inhale, left palm flips up, reach it back. Reverse the warrior. Keep sinking into that left knee. Don't lose the bend there. Then as you exhale, hands come all the way around to frame that left foot. Low lunge on the left side, press through the hands, send it on back. Keep that left foot floated if you'd like. Moving through that chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Settling back in for that downward facing dog. We'll take those 5 full rounds of breath here. Again, good chance to grab some water, take a child's pose, whatever you need. Go ahead and find that downward facing dog if you took a moment in a different posture. And from here, we're going to reach those right heels back up towards the ceiling. This time, let's go ahead and open up our hip. So you're bending the right knee. And this is if you're kicking the left glute with the right foot. Send a little more weight towards that right hand so you're still keeping the chest and shoulders square. From here, if you'd like to start to spin onto the sole of that left foot and drop the right foot down to flip your dog, feel free. If you are flipping your dog, keep squeezing through the glutes, lifting the hips higher like your bridge pose. And keep pressing through the soles of the feet. If you're flipped, go ahead and close it back off. Everybody straighten out that right leg. As you exhale, shift forward, knee to chest. One more time, rounding the upper back, finding that cat pose. Step it through in between the hands. Low lunge. As you inhale, lift up, find your airplane arm. So chest comes to about 45 degrees. Crown of that head's reaching forward. Breathing here, hugging in towards the midline on those outer hips. Finding that stability. Maybe you reach the hands toward the front of the room. As we inhale, let's lift up, high lunge. Exhale, nice and slowly, to lower the back knee all the way to the ground. Bring the hands to heart center. From here, we're going to come into a twist. So if you want to bring that front right knee to 90 degrees, if it's not there already. Back toes can be tucked or untucked, totally your choice. Find lots of length through the spine. Then as you exhale, twist to the right. Your gaze can go over that right shoulder if it's comfortable on the neck. Stay here, or if you'd like to hinge over that right knee, feel free. If you're working towards any kind of binds, go ahead, play around with it. You can split the arms. You can stay here. Yogi's choice. Stay with that breath. Keep squeezing in on that right thigh, keeping you stable. Last round. If you're binding, go ahead and break the bind. And then nice and slowly, let's come back to center. As you exhale, hands are going to come to frame that right foot. Step that left foot back, find your low lunge. Press through the hands. Send the right foot on back, plank pose. If you'd like to move through Vinyasa, you can, or you can just press straight back to downward facing dog. You need a couple rounds of breath here, again, just slow in the breath. Maybe returning back to that intention. Maybe you close the eyes. Keep reaching those soles of the feet towards the ground, pressing the chest towards the thighs. And the next inhale, let's lift that left heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, go ahead and open up the hip. Sending a little more weight towards that left hand. Go ahead and flip your dog if you'd like. If you're flipped, keep pressing through the soles of those feet. Squeezing the glutes, lifting the hips higher, letting that weight of the left arm reach you down towards the ground. So you feel like you're going in towards a back bend, towards your wheel pose. If you're flipped, go ahead and close it back off. And everybody, as you exhale, send that left foot through in between the hands. Finding that space in the upper back, send that left foot through. From here, keep pressing through the sole of that right foot. And as you inhale, squeeze the core, squeeze the outer hips, lift your body up 45 degrees, take those airplane arms. Settling into the breath here, that nice ujjayi breathing. Back leg is nice and strong. Maybe you reach the hands forward for the last breath. From here, lift all the way up. Go ahead and find heart center. Then as you exhale, nice and slowly lower that back knee down towards the mat. Again, back toes can be tucked or untucked, totally your choice. You can find that 90-degree angle if your foot stepped up a little bit further. From here, spin the chest and shoulders over towards that left side. Stay here, or if you'd like to hook that right elbow on the outside of that left knee, go ahead. If you made that connection, think about pressing the knee into the back of the shoulder and pressing the back of the shoulder into the knee. So it's a force kind of from both directions to open you up into that space a little more. Go ahead and take whatever variations you'd like. Splitting the arms, taking your binds, your choice. Stay for one more full round of breath. And then nice and slowly we'll unwind. Hands are going to come to frame that left foot. Press through the hands, send that right foot back into that plank pose. You can move through your vinyasa or go straight back to your downward facing dog. Breathing here. We're going to take that flow one more time, but this time we're going to flow with the breath. So we won't be holding the postures for quite so long. So go ahead and inhale that right heel up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, step it through in between the hands, low lunge. Inhale, airplane arms. Exhale, slowly lower the knee down towards the mat. Hands come to heart center. We're going to switch it up here a little bit. So go ahead and frame the right foot with the hands. And we're going to send that left foot up into our low lunge. Spin onto the sole of the left foot, and we're going to take that modified side plank that we did before. So start to press through that right hand, press through the sole of that left foot. We're going to drop down to the right knee. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Left fingertips reach towards the front of the room. This time, if you want to press through the sole of that left foot and press through the right hand, you can take the right foot through for a fallen triangle. You'll spin onto the sole of the right foot and lift the hips up. Maybe you work on floating that right foot. Nice and slowly, drop down to that left hand. Spin onto the ball of that left foot. Step the right foot back through, plank pose. Move through your vinyasa, or take it back to your downward facing dog. We'll all meet there. Again, if you want to pause through in your child's pose, feel free anytime before we take it to that left side. You're down, go ahead and come back up. On the next inhale, reach that left heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step it through in between the hands. Again, on those outer thighs, inhale, lift up, airplane arms. Exhale, reach the arms up. Start to slowly lower the foot, hands come to heart center. Slowly lower the knee. And then from here, we're going to take it into that modified side lunge. So go ahead and drop to that left knee, send it off to the side. Start to press through that left hand, sole of the right foot comes down towards the mat. Reach the right arm up. Right palm spins toward the front of the mat, reach the fingertips forward. Stay here, or this time if you want to press through that left hand and right foot, you can take that left foot all the way through for fallen triangle. Option to float that left foot if you'd like. One more full round of breath. Stay for the entire exhale. And then nice and slowly, drop that right hand back down towards the mat. Spin onto the ball of that right foot. Take that left foot all the way back to your plank pose. Flowing through that vinyasa. Or always option to press straight back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Returning back to that breath. Each down dog is an opportunity. Come back to that intention. From here, we're going to play around with floating towards the top of our mat for Malasana or Yogi Squat. So go ahead and walk the feet in maybe one or two steps. Just going to give ourselves a little bit shorter of a stance to start off with. And then take a moment and just play with rocking back and forth, shifting your weight towards the hands. And kind of think about clawing with the fingertips as you rock forward, drawing up on the center of the palm. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. Just feel the weight leave from the toes, rock towards the hands. From here, we're just going to take a couple hops to come to the outsides of the pinkies of the hands. So take as many hops as you need to, thinking about stacking the hips over the hands for as long as possible. Eventually, landing in your Malasana. If you end up walking your feet up there, that's totally fine. From here, for all my crows, you can feel free to take it there to your arm balance. Otherwise, we're just going to play around our Malasana for a moment. Play around with some bindings, some twists. Option to just kind of do a couple of hip circles. You'll start to feel the muscles of the feet working a little bit more. If you feel like you could just kind of hang out in your Malasana all day, think about lifting the hips up an inch or so off the ground. You're going to feel your glutes start to work a lot more, and the core start to work a lot more. From here, you can take those right fingertips toward the side. Left arm reaches up and out. Chest and shoulders spinning off towards the left. Option here to spin that left thumb down, bend at the elbow. Take your half bind. Maybe you work towards that full bind. If you're binding, go ahead and open the arms back up. Coming back through heart center, let's take it to the other side. So left fingertips reach out to the side. Right arm reaches up. Again, option here to spin that right thumb down. Take that bind. My crows, if you're still working it, You can feel free to play around with floating back towards chaturanga. If you're working towards crow, think about maybe lifting one toe at a time and then both feet. If you've got both feet lifted, think about touching the toes together, maybe touching the heels together. Go ahead and open up the arms if you were binding in your twist, and then come back through heart center. From here, we're all going to meet back to in downward facing dog. So if you're in your crow pose, you can play around with floating back to chaturanga. Everyone else, just place the hands down onto the mat and then step the feet back nice and slowly into your plank pose. From here, you can move through that vinyasa. We'll all meet back in our downward facing dog. We're going to return to that flow we were doing a moment ago. Again, switching up that end part with one more variation. We're going to move through warrior three in this one. So for those of you that like to have support in warrior three, maybe you use blocks typically in a class. If you have blocks, you can feel free to grab them. Another option is just to grab a chair or a stack of really anything, a stack of books, and just place it at the top of your mat. And you'll be able to bring your fingertips towards that stack as we move through our warrior three. From that downward facing dog, as you inhale, lift that right heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, shift forward, knee to chest, find that calf through the upper back, step it through. Inhale, airplane arms. This time as you exhale, we're going to reach the arms forward and start to shift that weight towards that right foot. Stay nice and strong through that right foot. Left toes start to flex and point down towards the mat. Nice strong outer right hip. If you'd like to bring the hands down towards the floor, two blocks to the chair, whatever you'd like, feel free to do so. And then from here, nice and slowly, we're going to bring the hands to heart center and start to unhinge over that right leg. Bring the left knee towards the chest. Left toes stay flexed. You can pause here, or if you'd like to take the left hand to the knee or the foot, open the knee off to the side. You can feel free. Again, you can pause here, or if you'd like to start to extend that foot out to the side, go ahead. That right hand can be out, can be on your hip, whatever you'd like. If you're extended, go ahead and close it up. And then everybody, nice and slowly with control, drop that left foot down to the ground. Go ahead and shake out that right ankle. Shake out the arms. Find your Tadasana, the top of the mat. Just go ahead and close the eyes for a moment. Notice the differences through one side of your body that just did. All these strong postures. Maybe you don't feel a difference, that's fine too. Again, just taking some time to notice those subtleties. Maybe we otherwise don't pay too much mind to through our days. On the next inhale, gently open up the eyes if they were closed. Reach the arms up and over the head. Maybe the gaze follows. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. As you exhale, plant the hands, step or float back, find your plank pose. Take it through your vinyasa, all the way back through to your downward facing dog. Let's take it to that left side. Inhale that left heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, shift forward, step it through in between the hands. Inhale, airplane arms. As you exhale, reach forward. Start to shift that weight towards that left foot, straightening off that left leg, right toes flex and point down towards the ground. Crown of the head's reaching forward, spine is nice and long. And you're staying firm through that outer left hip the whole time. That's what's keeping you stable, your core stability. Nice and slowly, we're going to start to unhinge over that left thigh, draw the right knee in towards the chest as we lift up. Again, option to stay here, or if you'd like to take the hand towards the inside of the right knee, or the toe, or the pinky edge of the foot, go ahead and do so, and slowly open that knee off to the side. stay here, or if you've got that connection with the foot, you can start to open the leg off to the side. Left hand can go off anywhere. Nice and slowly close it back off if you were open. And then everybody gently drop that left foot down to the ground. Shake out that left foot, the right foot down to the ground. Then once again, go ahead and close your eyes. Returning back to that intention, that reason you came to your mat today. If you want to lift up all 10 of your toes, give them a nice little wiggle. Place them back down towards the mat. Just feel all those little muscles working. And the next inhale, gently open up the eyes, arms reach up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step or float back. Take it all the way through your vinyasa, back to your downward facing dog, moving at your own pace. From our down dog, on the inhale, lift that right heel up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, shift forward, bring the right knee to the right elbow this time. And from here, see if you can get that knee as close to the right armpit as you can, squeezing it up towards the shoulder. Then nice and gently step the right foot to the pinky side of the right hand. We're going to move into our lizard pose. So in our lizard pose, you can take a moment, scooch that right foot forward, back toes back. And just kind of bring your hips forward and backward. Find that space through the right hip flexor and the left quad. You can stay here, or if you'd like to drop to the left knee, you're welcome to do that. Keep sending the hips forward. Stay here or start to work your way down to your shoulder or your elbows, coming onto the forearms. And think about stomping that right foot down into the mat. You're really strong through that right leg, and you're hugging that right knee towards that upper right shoulder. Notice if your head's kind of drooping down to the ground. See if you can find length through the back side of your neck. Reach the crown of the head forward. With each exhale, finding a little more softness through that left quad, through that right hip. If you were down, start to make your way back up onto the palms. If your back knee is still lifted, just gently drop it back down to the mat. We're going to take the right hand, bring it to the inner arch of that right foot, and just kind of peel the foot open like a book. So you're rolling onto the pinky edge of the foot. The right knee is going to go off to the side, just finding some space through that right hip flexor, the inner right thigh. Breathing in here. Crown of the head still reaching forward, still lots of space through the spine. Then we'll slowly place the sole of the foot back down onto the mat. The right hand's going to press down to the mat. Tuck those left toes, straighten off that left leg. Find that active lizard one more time. Try to press through the hands, and we're going to send that right foot all the way up and back. You can open up your hip if you want. It might feel good right now. And then gently place the right foot back down onto the mat. Take that left side and heel the left heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, shift forward, knee to left arm. And then slowly start to bring that knee up as close towards that left shoulder as you can. Slowly stepping the left foot to the pinky side of that left hand. Again, take whatever time you need to move towards your lizard pose. Start to rock forwards and backwards. Lengthen out your stance by kind of sliding that right ball of the foot back. You can drop to the right knee if you'd like. You keep pressing through the sole of that left foot, rooting down there. Knees hugging into that outer right shoulder. Dropping down to the forearms if you'd like.
And again, just notice if you're a sad lizard and your head's hanging down. If you are, lift that head up a little bit. Find that smile. Settling into the breath here. Each exhale, finding a little more release. A little more space. Keeping that left foot, left thigh active the whole time by pressing down through the sole of that foot. If you started to fold forward, come on back to the palms. If your back knee's still lifted, just drop it back down. The back toes can be tucked or flat, it doesn't really matter. And we're gonna press through that right hand, take the left hand to the inner arch of that left foot, and slowly peel that left knee open to the side. Chest and shoulders are still square towards the front of the mat. Finding that space through the inner left hip. Our hips have been closed for a lot of class today. It's going to feel nice to find that opening here. Nice and slowly, sole of that left foot comes back down to the ground. Root that left hand back to the ground. Tuck the right toes, straighten off that right leg. Find your active lizard. And then send that left foot all the way up and back. And opening up your hip if it feels good. And slowly dropping the toes back down towards the mat. Last down dog of the class. Just take a moment and settle in. And then gently drop down towards the knees. You can take the knees wide or closed for this one. Send the hips back towards the heels. Find your child's pose. We'll do knees together if we want a little more space through the low back. You can do knees apart if you're looking for a little bit more of a shoulder opener. If your forehead's on the mat, you can start to rock the head forward and backward. Just give it a little bit of a massage. If your arms are outstretched in front of you, it might feel good to release them down by your hips. Your choice. And then nice and slowly, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So keep the shoulders kind of shrugged and the head curling down until the very end. Chin stays tucked. Nice and slowly, just rolling out the back. Chin can lift to the very end. Maybe you shrug your shoulders up by the ears. Roll out the neck a couple times if it feels good. If you're rolling your neck, you can switch directions. A couple circles the other way. And then we'll just send our hips off to the side. Swing the legs out in front. Flex the toes back towards you. We're just going to take a moment, find a little bit of a hamstring stretch here. A couple of you guys were asking for that in the beginning of class, so let's get into them a little bit more. You know what? We're going to get into it a fun way. We're going to bend the knees. Yeah, it's always good to have a fun way. We're going to bend the knees, flex the toes, grab the pinky sides of the feet. Hopefully you guys can see me. And then from here, we're going to scoot our hip bones back, just kind of an inch at a time, until our belly starts to leave our thighs. So you're just going to kind of scoot your sit bone back, keep the belly planted onto the thighs for as long as you can. Keep the collarbones nice and broad. And then once you start to feel too much pressure through the hamstrings, just stop there. Breathing here. One last full round of breath. Then nice and slowly release the hands. Lift up. From here, let's take the knees out wide, soles of the feet come together for Baddha Konasana legs. Your hands can come to the ankles or the insides of the feet, whatever's comfortable. And sit up nice and tall. This is another place where if you like to have a little bit more space through the low back, you can sit up on a pillow, sit up on a blanket, whatever you'd like. Nice and tall. And as you exhale, leading with the chest, just start to fold forward. You can use the elbows to kind of press your knees out to the side. Each exhale, finding a little more softness through the insides of the hips. Breathing here. You can feel free to take this as deep or as restorative as you'd like. Reaching that cool down. And take it easy. Start to find that softness through the body. Last round of breath. We'll start to lift back up. Go ahead and take the hands to the outsides of the knees. Bring them back in towards each other. And stretch the legs out long one more time. We're going to come into a twist here. A couple options for this one, you can keep the right foot extended out long, or if you'd like to bend the right knee and sit on the inside of the ankle, you can feel free to do that. Doesn't change the twist any, it just kind of gives you that extra stretch through the top of the right ankle. From here, that left foot is going to come to the inside of the right thigh, or if you have a comfortable half lotus, you can take it to the inner hip crease. Take whatever version of those that you want, and once you're ready, sit up nice and tall. Your left fingertips are going to start to come back behind you as the back of the right hand or the palm comes to the left knee. Your gaze can follow over that left shoulder. Just breathe here. If you're working towards binds in these twists, you can take that left hand up from the ground, turn the thumb downward, bend at the left elbow, and bring it behind the back. Working its way towards that left foot. Each inhale, think about finding length through the spine. Each exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. One last full round of breath. And gently break the pose. We'll twist all the way off towards the right. Hands are going to come to the outside of that right thigh, and just take a nice little bow over towards the right, kind of release that out. And lift yourself back up. Go ahead and extend both legs out long. If you were sitting on the inside of that right ankle, it might feel nice to roll it out a couple times. And we'll take it to the other side. So again, left foot can stay out long, or if you'd like to sit on the inside of the left ankle, go ahead. From here, sole of that right foot to the inner left thigh, or it can come to that inner left hip crease. Sit up nice and tall. Right fingertips start to reach back behind you. Left hand's going to come towards that right knee. Your gaze can follow over that right shoulder if it's comfortable. Think about sending a little more weight towards that left hip crease. Towards the left hip. So getting a little more weight on that side. If you're working towards that bind, left hand can lift up. Bend at the elbow. Taking one last full round of breath here. Settling in. Then nice and slowly at the bottom of your exhale, unwind. Take that bow over towards that left side. Slowly we'll start to lift up. Go ahead and extend both legs out long. You can roll out that left ankle if you were sitting on the inside. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees. Soles of the feet are going to come down towards the ground. Right fingertips back behind you. Option to just lower yourself down towards the mat, or if you'd like to pass through your boat pose. You can find that first. Lift the chest towards the thighs. Squeezing in here. Maybe you extend the legs out long. Then we'll take our full exhale to lower ourselves onto the back. If there's a final posture you'd like to take, maybe recline Baddha Konasana, or you could do legs up the wall, maybe happy baby. You can feel free to take whatever posture the body needs right now. Give you 10 breaths or so. Find whatever stillness in whatever shape you'd like. So we give the muscles of the body a chance to slow down. Just finding ease through whatever those spinal postures are. If you're very comfortable where you are, you can feel free to stay there for Shavasana. Otherwise, slowly start to extend the legs out long. Let the arms come by the sides. Palms face up, finding that openness through the chest. Shoulders feel heavy down towards the mat. Toes kind of splay off to the side. And get yourself comfortable in whatever way you need. Maybe you want to cover yourself with a blanket. Put some pillows under your knees. Anything that helps you find that stillness. We work in yoga to find that quiet of the body and mind. It's a little easier to kind of calm that narrative that we have going on when we're doing the physical postures. So we have something to focus that concentration on. It's a little harder when we're in this stillness. So as we spend the next few moments in silence, as you notice yourself thinking of things, it's okay. Just see if you can maybe just notice it like we noticed all those neutral feelings. Instead of labeling it good or bad, just notice it and then let it fall away. Give it an acknowledgement and then let it go. Slowly start to deepen the breath. Allow your awareness to return to the mat. Noticing heaviness of the limbs, different textures you may be feeling. Any sounds you can hear, any light filtering in from behind the eyelids. Just bringing that awareness back. And we'll slowly start to allow some movement to come back to the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes. Allowing that movement to travel up the limbs, rolling out the wrists, the ankles. Just doing whatever feels good and natural. Maybe you take a full body stretch, reaching the arms up and over the head, pointing the toes, arching the back. I think you're waking up from a nice, deep, restful sleep. You can hug the knees into your chest. You rock a little bit side to side. We'll work our way up to a seat in whatever way feels good and comfortable. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like. You can knock the knees off to the side, press through the hands, just sort of lift yourself up. Just find a comfortable seat. Maybe you cross your legs the opposite way you normally do, just for a little fun. Bring the hands to heart center. Take a moment, just acknowledge yourself for making it to the mat today. Taking some time out of the day to focus on you, Focus on slowing down, being kind to the body, finding that mind-body connection. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me and tuning in today. We're going to be doing these live classes for the next couple weeks. We're going to be rotating through some of the gyms. We're going to be doing yoga class at 6 p.m. and then a fitness class at 8 p.m. So come right back here at 8 p.m. tonight and for the next couple weeks. It was awesome seeing you all. Leave me any kind of notes, feedback, anything else, questions in the comments. I'm going to be happy to answer you guys. Feel free to reach out anytime. That's all I've got for you guys today. See you, everyone.